Hello, readers of Every Word, and welcome to Every Word 365. I'm your host, Christina Munoz-Madsen. Today we're reading Acts 13 through 15. Do you have a Barnabas in your life? Are you a Barnabas to someone else? The name Barnabas means son of encourager, so you could replace that name with encourager in those questions. We all need an encourager, and we all should try to be an encourager to a loved one. A great challenge for all of us. And if someone came to mind just now when I said, do you have an encourager, a Barnabas? I also encourage you to reach out to that person and to say thanks. They may not know what an impact they've had on you. Like Barnabas, as Christians, we are called to be encouragers, particularly of those who are weak in the faith or struggling. Acts 11:23 depicts Barnabas as a man who was delighted to see others exhibiting the grace of God in their lives, exhorting and encouraging them to remain faithful. In the same way, we should look for opportunities to praise those who bring glory and honor to God through lives that reflect their faith. In addition, Barnabas is an example of a generous spirit when it comes to giving sacrificially to the work of the Lord. And of course, I'm attaching a link to the Got Questions article on Barnabas. Probably the best biblical example of someone with the gift of encouragement is Barnabas. His real name was Joseph, but the apostles called him Barnabas, which means son of encouragement. We see Barnabas in Acts 9:27 coming alongside the newly converted Paul and introducing him to a weary church. In Acts 13:43, Barnabas encourages the believers to continue in the grace of God. In Acts 15:36 through 41, Barnabas chooses John Mark as a ministry partner, despite Mark's having deserted a previous missionary endeavor. In other words, Barnabas gave Mark a second chance. All through Barnabas's ministry, he evidenced the gift of encouragement, calling others to his side in order to help, comfort, and encourage them to become more effective for Christ. What a great goal for all of us to try to be and do as Christ followers. So, of course, I'm attaching more about the gift of encouragement. Is that a gift of yours? But I also love how Paul and Barnabas handled their disagreement. We are going to have disagreements about all kinds of things. The key is still being respectful and loving throughout it. I love this article. If you have a disagreement with a fellow Christ follower, might be a great link for you to read over. From the relationship of Paul and Barnabas, we can draw an important lesson. Here were two godly men, loved by the churches, filled with the Spirit, enduring persecution together, seeing people saved, and enjoying an effective ministry. Yet they were fallible and did not see eye to eye on everything. They quarreled and parted ways. Even the best and most faithful among us are prone to the interpersonal conflicts and mistakes. We are all fallen human beings. The ministries of both men continued. In fact, the number of missionary teams doubled. God can use even our disagreements to further His work. I love that insight that disagreements are going to happen. It doesn't mean you're bad people. Paul and Barnabas continued to depend on God. They moved forward peacefully, even though it meant parting ways. In matters of personal opinion and practical procedure, Paul and Barnabas differed. In matters of doctrine, they both saw the necessity of sharing the gospel with the world. They were united in what is truly important. What a great lesson for all of us to know where we should be united and where we will be different, even with other fellow Christ followers and loved ones. Now, as we've already mentioned, Paul had 3 missionary journeys, and so in today's reading, we talk about the first journey, and I'm including a link to more on that. And finally, for those of you that have gone through or are going through some of life's most difficult and devastating situations, and I've heard from many of you that are going through that right now, be sure to hear the words of Acts 14:22. They encouraged them to continue in the faith, reminding them that we must suffer many hardships to enter the kingdom of God. I don't know if that makes you feel better, but it just makes me know that that is part of our journey. Tomorrow is Acts 16 through 18. Happy reading!